James and Max here, and today is Max. I should know this is 16th, and our product is the number one product of the day today, Phantom Mint. So thank you for all the people that have supported us, and thank you for all the people that like were affiliates for it and so on. So it's the number one product of the day, doing really well, getting awesome feedback. People really loving it because it really is a cool world to where you can like literally print money on demand. It's a whole thing, and we put that out. And so one lesson to learn as when you do start doing well online, try and automate it. So Max and I, when we put out products, we have JV contracts, and I want to blame the marketplace, but it could have been my fault. But I was like, Max, man, we're crushing this launch, and it's like just really, really doing well. And then Max, because Max is 4 or 5 hours ahead of me in time, I wake up this morning and I always look for Max's messages. He usually sends me a message before I get up, and he's like, "Oh, just so you know, James, the JV contract didn't go through, so I've received all the money, not Max." And that's so I'm like, oh my God. And so anyway, we work it out. We're always transparent, and I'll make sure Max gets his money that he rightfully deserves. But I'm just saying, the more that you can automate things, the better, because especially when you're working with partners, and Max and I have a really good relationship, but we can both tell you horror stories over the years, especially when it comes to money. If the money isn't right, all of a sudden that friendship can go away really quickly. So I think that's one of the reasons Max and I, yeah, see, Max is a good guy. So, but we're always transparent, and that's the biggest thing. So the more one thing that I'm trying to do in my life is in general, like even see my wife, is my wife listening right now? As soon as I mention her, she comes out of nowhere. She hears me. But with my wife, what I do is now is I'm just really, really honest now. Whereas before I'm like, should I say that? Is she gonna get upset if I say that? Now I'm like, I'm just gonna be honest. If this gets her worked up, I don't want to get her worked up. But if it gets her worked up, it's like, but I'm being honest. I'm just being myself rather than like, should I say it a certain way? And so that's what I'm trying to do more and more in my life is just be transparent, the good and the bad and the ugly. This didn't work out. Okay, we figure it out. We fix it rather than, although I did spend 15 minutes trying to blame the marketplace, but it could have been my fault. But bottom line is Max knows it's like, hey, I'm not getting any money. I'm glad you caught it early though. We'll figure it out today, hopefully. But biggest thing is automation. Be transparent. But in terms of our product, Phantom Mint, I will have a link there. We are still, Max, are we still accepting new people to promote that?
Yeah, we can. Let's just do until tomorrow. Or yeah, until tomorrow, maybe early tomorrow.
Okay, so you have until tomorrow to, I mean, you can always promote that product, but in terms of the launch space, it's in your best interest to promote early and often. But we will have a link below that you can, uh, and I'm accepting, everyone should be accepted by the time, pretty much by the time this video comes out. But apply for it, fill out that form. We will pay you to take action, number one. And number two, for those in our elite community, we will drive sales to your links. We will make sure that you get sales. So um, just the notion of, again, action is super, super important. That's one of the biggest challenges people have. And then once you start taking action, you want to start seeing the revenue, and those two and two are together. Action inevitably is what brings you the revenue. So that's why we do it this way. So if you want to promote us, if you want an incentive to do something, we will pay you to do so. If you're part of our elite community where all the real action takers are that are seeing success, and you see our wall of fame, I mean, pretty much everyone there is in our elite community because things are happening, things are moving, and more, Max, we're spending more and more time in our elite community. It's a small, comparatively speaking, to the free, but it's a great community, and we're making a lot of um, the networking there is getting stronger and stronger as the weeks and months go by, and more things are happening. And so, for example, just the replays of these calls we've had in the free are huge in there. Like the last one we just had with Ryan was amazing with the faceless AI. So be a part of our elite community. But bottom line is, we're focused on this launch, and you have the opportunity to get paid to participate. Max?
Yeah, guys, I just want to tell you another little story here. That's one of the reasons why I really like to work with James. First of all, we get a along well on a personal level, and we talk about private stuff and we make jokes, but we can also work well together. But I just want to tell you like my biggest horror story that I had like in the launch space with someone. Obviously, I'm not gonna mention names, but I once put together like a really nice software. I had someone who wanted to launch it together with me. That specific person, like, literally owns like a software development company, has like 50 to 80 employees, and he like, yeah, I don't want to talk too much about the person. Anyway, like, we were gonna make a launch together, and then he was always telling me about his experience and how experienced he is and like how many launches. That was all true, but then last minute before the launch, or like not last minute, but a day or two before the launch, he was gonna make a JV contract for me, and he sent me a JV contract, and it said like maximum earnings minus 100 or something. I looked at the contract and I was like, look, like with that contract here, I won't even be able to make a single cent on that launch. And he was like, huh? No, like that's just the way we set it up. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he was like, let's jump on the call. I'm gonna show you. And all of a sudden, he didn't understand anything anymore. And I was like,
God.
and I asked someone else, because that was on another platform, not on Warrior Plus, where James and I do most of our launches. I asked someone else who launches on that platform, who is a vendor on the platform, and he was like, "That's bullshit. Like, if it says minus 100, obviously you won't be able to make any money." So I came back to that guy and I was like, "Look, that's what the other guy told me." Again, I didn't mention the name there, but I was like, I knew that before, but like I still wanted to ask someone else, and like, you're trying to fool me here. So I canceled the launch like 3 hours before we're supposed to go live. I was like,
Rough.
and I never talked to that person ever again, like not a single word. And I ended up launching it with somebody else. But like, this is just super important, that if you work with people online, that you trust them, and that you don't just trust them because you had like a 30-minute conversation on Messenger. Like, I usually, and that's also what the first thing that James said to me like around 2 years ago, like, okay, the product idea sounds good, but we need to get on the call. Because if you don't get on a call, like, people like have a different, like, many people have a different face when they don't need to look in your eyes. When they just text, they can tell you all kinds of stuff, but can they still lie at you when you look at them? Most of, like, it's just really important, trust, and not trusting people after like 10 minutes after meeting them. And so yeah, that was like a really really bad experience. But like, now today we had an issue with the JV contract, but because it's James, for me it doesn't matter. Like,
I
it's
see. The
it's
thing
all
is with Max, he goes everywhere. So if I get him mad enough, he'll just get on a plane and show up at my door. So it's like, I got to make it right. So no, but man, Max, you travel tomorrow, so that's exciting, going to Thailand. But we'll figure it out. But to Max's point, networking is huge, but you're gonna go through some, to find those diamonds in the rough. You're gonna go through some things, and that's why I love our elite community so much, is because people are willing to pay. People are willing to pay just to get away from crappy people. And I'm not saying that if you're in the free community, you're crappy, but I'm just saying is that when you're willing to step up with your money, you're willing to you're really working to be serious. So that's what I love about it. There is no spam in our elite community, whereas we deal with spam all the time in the free community. And to Max's point, um, someone can say all the nicest things in the world the first 5 seconds you meet them, but always, always, like, I get pitched every single day. Every single day, literally multiple times a day, someone will DM me. Like, the DMs are starting to get crazy for me in this group, which is a good thing because we're growing. But people DM me every day. Hey man, how's it going? And usually when I hear that, I'm like, oh, okay, here it comes. I'm doing good. How are you? Look, love what you're doing in there. I know I could make you another $5,000 or $10,000 with your school group. I know I could do that. I hear that 3 or 4 times a day from different people. And so it's like, okay, sure you can. But it's like, I'm not going to pay $2,000 or whatever it is for each person that tells me that. It's like, so anyway, in terms of the DM space, hi, how you doing is not the best way to do it. And I see a lot of people that are engaging here, that are doing it the right way by trying to provide value, right? I don't want to say that we all have an agenda, but if you're trying to sell somebody something, man, people are gonna, and Max and I had a conversation earlier today about that. It's like certain person that we know that we work with all the time, he's crushing it as an affiliate. And why? Because they like him. Because he's very transparent about what he does and he promotes products all the time. And so therefore they buy from him because they like them. So there's something to be said about that. Like just try and be helpful, be transparent. Don't try like hey, I'm trying to sell you something and here's why and just be real about it and that's when things will explode for you. Whereas if you're always trying to like have an angle and trying to be deceptive, that's not going to work for you because over time the aggregate of people will see through that. So it's just best. I think today, Max, is about being transparent. This is the lesson for today. So anyway, guys, we'll see you next time. Promote our launch, get paid to do it, get guaranteed sales from our elite community. See you later.